So this is a YouTube for question 6.2a6 from the course textbook. Notice that there may be a mistake in the slide for question 6.2a6 about the fixed cost. So if you have anything different from what I have here for fixed cost 152,100, please change it. The correct version is on the screen now. So what we have is like a little balance sheet for a company. So their total sales, their total revenue, which recall is the volume times the price per unit, was 765,000. So that's how much money they took in. They had costs, remember two different types of cost, fixed costs and total variable costs. Fixed costs you can see is 152,100 and total variable costs 497,250. So the total cost is those things together, those two costs together, 649,350. We can subtract total cost from sales to find their net income. So this is how much money they get to take away after they have paid off their costs. Perhaps it's their profit. And we're asked a number of questions. First of all, find the contribution margin. Right, it's probably best if you have this question from the book in front of you, because I don't have enough space on the page really. So the contribution margin is going to be their total sales, 765,000, minus their total variable costs. Notice it's total variable costs. So their contribution margin is 267,750. Sales minus total variable costs give us the contribution margin. The contribution rate is the contribution margin divided by the total sales of 765,000. So that's 35%. It comes out as 35%. Now, we want to find out the break-even point in units. That's the third question, the break-even points in units. One trick for these things is to assume the price is $1. Put the price at $1. So if the price per unit is $1, the whole thing becomes much easier. The break-even volume is the fixed cost divided by the contribution margin. So you recall that the fixed costs, look back, the fixed costs were 152,100. How many do we have to sell to pay off those fixed costs? So we have to pay off 152,000 in fixed costs, and each unit, if it cost $1 each, which is what we're assuming, would contribute 35 cents, 0.35. So 35 cents for the unit price, 35%, 35 cents. So we divide the fixed costs by that contribution margin, and so therefore we find that we would have to sell 434,571 units at $1 each to pay off the fixed costs and therefore break even. So once we've paid off the fixed costs, we've broken even, and what we get after that is profit. The last question, let's just check it. Break-even point in units, we've done that. Break-even point in sales unit was the last question. At the break-even volume of 434, remember that's how we just calculated. We calculated break-even volume is 434,571. Now we assumed that the sales cost was going to be $1, or sorry, the price that we were selling it for was going to be $1. So all we have to do is to multiply that volume by $1, and so we get the total, the same total of course because it's by $1. So we need to earn 434,571 in order to break even. So the trick to this is to, let's just go back over it quickly. The trick to it is to first of all subtract the total variable costs from the sales to get the contribution margin. Then we assume that we don't know, if we are not told then the sale price, then we assume it's $1 and then work backwards from that. Thank you.